Okay, Castlevanias. How do we do it? Let's take out the obvious. Should we argue about this? I don't think so. Kid Dracula. I don't think Kid Dracula is kinda Castlevania game in a sense. It's more like a goofy platformer with Dracula. And it's not very good, honestly. So, hey. So, Castlevania Chronicles, it is kinda remake in very, very big air quotes. Castlevania, it is a good game. Castlevania Judgment. Castlevania Judgment is a fighting game for Wii. It is kinda whack. It's not very good. So Judgment. This is the other game. The one where you can play as every Castlevania protagonist. A Harmony of Despair, I think it's called. This thing is horrible. Not that bad as Castlevania Judgment, but it's horrible. So, let's leave that there. Kid Dracula, the same game, doesn't make much sense, so there. Curse of Darkness? Curse of Darkness. Yeah, it is very... It's very honestly. It's kinda God of War, but bad in almost every sense, so I don't recommend it too much. Now we're talking about this one. This is Dawn of Sorrow, the sequel to Ori of Sorrow on DS. The first problem with this game is the art style. They changed it for something like very cartoony, not anime, cartoony. And it doesn't fit the Castlevania lore in any sense. Also, Area of Sorrow had Ayumi Kojima making the promo art, and this was a big step down, and almost everything in the game is a step down from Area of Sorrow. In all, if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't know why that Castlevania exists. Doesn't make any sense. Well, there it is, so... Again. At least you can play it and have fun with it. So, it's kinda good in a sense. Now, Castlevania Adventure is the first Castlevania released on Game Boy. I don't remember the name of the protagonist. So yeah, it is the first one. It is very bare bones. It is a very hard game, but honestly, it is classic platforming on the Game Boy. So, Area of Sorrow. Now we're talking. Area of Sorrow is a very excellent Castlevania. It has all the things you need, and in fact, in a sense, I feel the team started experimenting on Game Boy Advance using the formula from Symphony of the Night. So they kinda refined that until Area of Sorrow. Simon Quest. Okay, this is one is very... Some people think Simon Quest is bad because it has some obscure mechanics, and I get that. It is a very 80s game with things you just possibly can't get unless you go and buy a playthrough, go and buy a guide. But in terms of everything Castlevania from there, from RPGs Castlevania from there on, everything was based in some way, shape, or form from Simon Quest. So it is a good game. Castlevania Adventure Rebirth. This one is the first Castlevania remade for WiiWare from Game Boy. It is actually a better version of it, but it is still a very good game, but not excellent. It made you experiment with cards, because in case you don't know, Castlevania Circle of the Moon, the protagonist can use cards in order to make attacks. So you can, I don't know, use Salamander, the card for fire, with, I don't know, another card and make a new spell. So it's kind of very free in that sense. you have so much freedom in that game to make your own attacks. But it is still worse than Area, because in Area of Sorrow you can absorb enemy souls and then have a new attack, which is actually a kinda Pokemon-esque game. And I think it fits Castlevania a lot better than Circle of the Moon. Dracula's Curse, Castlevania 3, it is a very good game. Now, this Castlevania 2, I don't remember the name. Lords of Shadow? Lords of Shadow. I kinda played only the first area and got bored. I think I need to finish it in order to really attest or really review the game. But from my perspective, it is a very boring game. Very generic. Now, surprisingly, the first one, Castlevania Curse of Lords of Shadow 1, is very good. It is a God of War clone in almost everything you can expect from a God of War clone. But it is actually a very good story. The soundtrack, it is excellent. Voice acting, fantastic. So, and even gameplay. Gameplay is not that easy as you might think. It is a very deep Castlevania in the sense of how you have to approach enemies. Dracula Chronicles X. For some reason, I still prefer the original. Both of these games are obviously Castlevania X, Rondo of Blood. Now, Rondo of Blood is a good Castlevania in some areas and very lackluster in others. First, it is a very interesting Castlevania in the sense that you can play as other characters, but for the whole game with all new abilities, more abilities than the characters from Castlevania 3 have. But it's also very broken, and that's the main issue there. There are a lot of things that were fixed in the future of Castlevania games. Now, Order of Ecclesia, I don't like this one. I think it's serviceable. I haven't finished it because I get bored a lot. But I honestly recognize that it's a really good it's a well-made Castlevania, so nothing to say there. It is at that point, well, this now is completely off canon. Castlevania Legends used to be the first Castlevania in the whole saga. Classic platformer. It is way better than Castlevania Balloon's Revenge, that is here. In fact, let's put it right here. Okay, another really good Castlevania, Harmony of Dissonance. It is so good. The music, the sprites, everything's good. Portal Ruin. Portal Ruin, I haven't played it that much, so I'm just gonna put it in good. Maybe this one is excellent. I haven't played it that much. I really need to. I've heard a lot of things about this Castlevania. I like the fact that it's based on the 1940s. Okay, let's put this in judgment, because these two games are so bad, I don't even want to talk about them. Bloodlines is very good. So good. The first Castlevania is still a very good game. I would say excellent, not to the point of legendary, but it is the first Castlevania on NES. A very good one. Now this is Mirror of Fate. I'm gonna go and say it's good. I haven't finished Mirror of Fate, but at least it is 2D and shares a lot of things with these Castlevanias. Was really good. I think it's not the best Castlevania they could have released on 3DS, but hey. Now, Super Castlevania 4, man, this game, the music, the atmosphere, the time it was released, they really put some heart and soul into this Castlevania. It is a complete remake of Castlevania 1, which is right here, which is still very good, by the way, but they kinda remade the game, but also changed how certain areas played. So It is honestly one of the best games you can have on Super Nintendo. Now, Castlevania Dracula X. I don't think it's that bad as people say, but the problem is the difficulty. They went a little crazy with the difficulty, and it's a very expensive game. If you have a copy of Castlevania Dracula X, keep it. It is still a very good game. As you can see, the 3 versions of Castlevania 1 are in excellent because they are very good games about what happened with the time with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Because when it was released, everything laughed at the voice acting, and I honestly think it is not that bad. I mean, it is charming in a way, in the same way Resident Evil 1 voice acting was. But then they kinda took George Lucas' approach to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, because when the game was part of the Castlevania PSP compilation, the Castlevania Chronicles X compilation, they redid the voice acting. They changed a few things about how the game played. Now, the Saturn version still is the only version where you can play as Maria Renard, the same character from Rondo Blood, but with a whole new moveset. Maria Renard in the Saturn version of Symphony of the Night plays like a fighting game. Yeah, this is Castlevania for me. It's a very deep saga for me because I've been playing Castlevania since the dawn of time.